be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Retro Reviews, the only place where we came, we saw, and we kicked its ass. So, I usually don't wear this shirt all that much, if ever. I remember getting this shirt from Florida SuperCon at a comic book convention, and I think I'm going to start, wearing it more often. It's a pretty cool shirt. I don't really wear shirts like this anymore. But if you couldn't tell from the shirt, today we are talking about the 1984 James Cameron science fiction classic, The Terminator. The Terminator. That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I know it's crappy. It kind of sounds like an old Jamaican dude. But, so we're going to talk about The Terminator today. And The Terminator stars Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and this guy, get a look at that shirt, Arnold Schwarzenegger as the titled character, The Terminator. Being the, big film buff that I am and the big movie nerd that I am, a lot of people ask me, what is the movie that, started it all? What is the movie that got you wanting to see other movies? And one of those answers has always been James Cameron's 1984 classic, The Terminator. So, but I remember my family actually owning the film on VHS. That's how old I am. And I just thought it was a great movie. My parents even got me Terminator 3, a McFarlane action figure, if anybody knows those, when I was a kid, and they actually got me Terminator 3, the video game, for my birthday. A lot of people actually don't know this, but at one point O.J. Simpson was actually set to play the Terminator. Do you want to hear a quick O.J. Simpson joke? Thought so. So here's the joke. What was the name of O.J. Simpson's fraternity? Decapitator. Yeah, pretty funny. If you don't know what it is, or if you're too young to know the reference, go ask your parents what it means. They'll know. There are times throughout this movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, he's right up there with the Jason Voorhees or a Michael Myers. There's, he doesn't stop, he keeps coming back, and he's, really a stone-cold killing machine. Kyle Reese, played by Michael Biehn, even tells Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, that the Terminator, he can't be bargained with, he can't be reasoned with, he doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and he will not stop until you are dead. That's actually one of my favorite movie quotes, along with, probably everyone's favorite movie quote from the movie, I'll be back. The movie really does have everything going for itself. The action is amazing, especially during the futuristic scenes that we get to see in the movie, and during the police station scene that involves Schwarzenegger having a shootout with cops, and it just really shows that he's a heartless killing machine. We have the horror, and the horror, for me, came very early on in the film, and when Schwarzenegger was having a shootout with Kyle Reese in the nightclub scene when he was trying to save Sarah Connor for the first time, and also the incident that involves Sarah Connor's roommates, because the way just Schwarzenegger has an incident, I will say, I don't want to spoil the movie, is just, once again, he's like a shark looking for blood. He's just murderous and just a stone-cold killer. Also, this movie is very romantic to me. Kyle Reese tells Sarah Connor, the reason he's doing all of this is because he loves her. He's never met her, because he's from the future, but he has a picture of her, and he just feels like he's in love with this woman, and the reason he's going through all of this, traveling back in time, fighting off this murderous cyborg, and going through all of this is because he feels like, deep down in his heart, he is in love with her. Even as a kid, I knew that was somewhat romantic, and if that doesn't scream love, then I don't know what does. Stan Winston, the legendary Stan Winston, does the special effects for this film. The effects still hold up to this day, even though there's a scene in the movie where the Terminator cuts out his eyeball. To me that looks a little fake now, but every time I see practical effects in a movie, it just makes me wish, wow, I wish we had more practical effects in movies instead of the usual CGI that we get. But Stan Winston is great. Definitely look up his work if you'd ever heard of him before. I also think that this movie is a very original idea, and it's not like stealing a concept from another movie or characters' likeness from other movies. And I also think this is James Cameron's most original story. Cameron has actually told a few sources, like magazines and newspapers and even some books that I've read, like this one in the background. Actually, let me show you this book right here. Right here. That the concept and the overall ideas for Terminator actually came from a dream that he had. I also really love seeing, the big muscle-bound, Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Michael Biehn, because Biehn is, really skinny in the movie. You can see his rib cage, and it shows he is willing to go up against the much bigger threat in order to save Sarah Connor. The future that the movie shows is just, really dark and gritty, and even though we don't see it that much, we kind of get an idea of what this future is like. I remember kids in the movie watching television, but the television was actually broken and it was on fire, and that's what they were watching. People look really sickly and they're constantly coughing and really dirty, and someone was actually cooking a rat in the movie. It really did look like hell, and this is why the mission is just so important to Kyle Reese. Unlike other films, this movie doesn't, make time travel, look like fun. Time travel in this movie looks really painful for Kyle Reese. It's not painful for the Terminator at all, because it doesn't feel anything really, any physical pain. But when Biehn comes, Kyle Reese comes back in time, he has burnt skin, and you can see the smoke coming from his body. He's really in pain. You see it in his face, and it almost looks like he's about to cry, even though he's this real badass, tough soldier from the future. And it just makes the viewer say, ouch, and like, time travel is just this horrible thing to go through. So this is a movie that I have loved for years and will continue to love for years. I honestly can't wait to see Linda Hamilton, James Cameron, and Arnold Schwarzenegger return for the upcoming Terminator 6 movie that's been announced. I'm really excited for that. Honestly, I like all the Terminator movies except Genesis. I thought Genesis was just awful, but that's a whole different story. But this Terminator movie is what started it all, and it's one of the many reasons I got into movies, and just one of the reasons I'm just a film buff. And I don't know one person who hasn't seen this film and thought it was bad. I am more than proud to give the Terminator 5 out of 5 hair pieces. So that'll do it for this episode of Retro Reviews. Thank you all for checking out this video, and coming your way will be more retro reviews and all kinds of other, sweet things for you on the site and on the YouTube channel as well. That being said, I hope you all have a great day, and if the Terminator has taught me anything, it's that there's no fate but what we make for ourselves. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Okay, that's good.
I didn't get your face.
Oh.
Cut. Then you have to fix the end part. Is it still? Oh, it's not still recording. How do you see it now?